Hey folks, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm pretty excited because I have my second VEVOR diesel heater, and if you've been watching the channel for a little while, you would know that a little bit off camera down there, I have a VEVOR heated shooting shack, which consists of a 5 kilowatt diesel heater from them and their portable shed, which is pretty cool. That's where I do all my shooting videos. But this one here is going to be an 8 kilowatt unit, and it's a little bit beefed up. I'll go ahead and open this up and show you guys what it comes with. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to make the shed a heated shed by using this. And I've got a couple of ideas for it. But big shout out to VEVOR. They're one of the best channel partners that I've ever had. And I would liken their online store to basically an online Harbor Freight with every tool you could possibly imagine. These guys make literally everything under the sun. So any hardware parts, yard stuff, tools, whatever, they make it. I've reviewed plenty of the VEVOR compressors, and if you guys appreciate the content that I'm doing and taking the time to film and edit and put out to you guys, please support the channel by using the links in the description and comments. Those help the channel a little bit, cost you nothing more, and oftentimes you'll find some discount codes in there for you as well. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is let's walk down to the heated shooting shack. I'll show you the existing diesel heater that I had, which has been for about 3 years, just going totally strong. And then we'll get into my plan with this, showing how I'm going to make the shed finally have heat after 30 years of sitting here with no heat. So that is a pretty big upgrade. Let's get into it. All right, walk with me. I'll show you the existing setup and then we'll get into the new setup. There's the exhaust from the heater that's in there. I've carefully, well, not that carefully, routed it through some cinder blocks, and that exhaust gets really hot. So that's going to be a consideration for when we put that under the shed over there. But here is my shooting shack. If you're new to the channel, you might not be familiar, but if you've watched the channel for a while, I am in here all the time. And here's the existing diesel heater in the corner here. It's got a little remote, and it's same batteries for 3 years. And there we go. So this one is great. It heats this whole area perfectly, and it's been running strong for 3 years. So I just wanted to show you this one real quick because this is definitely a testament to how awesome these things are, because I've used this for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and zero maintenance. You can see there's debris and stuff all over it because I never have done anything in terms of maintaining it, and it works awesome. So let's go check out the other one, see what it comes with, and then we'll do the install. All right, Kings, here's the new one. Since I don't have 3 arms, I'll have to show you what it comes with after I unbox it here, but she's looking pretty clean and nice and a little bit more rugged just from the initial glance than the other one. And so I'll show you what it comes with, and then we'll talk about how I think I'm going to install it in this shed. I've got it mostly deployed here. It does require a little bit of assembly. So here's the unit, really nice, and it does have a remote just like the last one, and it has what appears to be a nicer screen here, and this does have Bluetooth and I think an app with it. So the idea with this one would be to be able to control it from upstairs in the shed with my phone, which would be cool. So you got your wheels, you've got the exhaust tube extension, you've got a dust cover for the whole thing, I think. Here's your tube where the heat comes out. We're going to probably modify that a bit. You've got a power supply. Unlike the last one, I had to put my own power supply to that one because that one was meant for like an RV to run off 12 volt. So this one comes with it, which is pretty cool. You've got the power cable, the muffler, some heat shielding for the exhaust, which is really nice that they include this now. And then you've got your various hardware bits. So I guess from this point, I'll kind of explain my process here. So we'll give you a rare glimpse up into the top of the shed here. So my initial idea was I was going to put the diesel heater there and build a little cover for it. And then I would have to basically drill a hole in the wall for either the 3-inch tubing to bring the heat in, or the other idea would be move some stuff around in here and basically put some like pavers or some sort of rock on the ground so that, you know, just to heat shield everything, drill a hole for the exhaust. I don't really like that idea either. So what we're going to do is walk with me here. And I won't take you through all the steps really, but this shed is cantilevered off the ground. So this rear of the shed sits up off the ground. I've got a 3-inch hole saw. I'm going to drill a hole right there, and we're going to put this thing under the shed. So walk with me again. and I'll show you my idea here. I've got some cinder blocks there. That's what I want to set it on top of. And although I did rake all the leaves and stuff out, I want to put the diesel heater under here. I'll route that power cable with an extension cord down through here. And this is more or less covered from the elements, so it should be pretty good. And then we'll just drill a hole with the hole saw up in there. So that thing will run here. The exhaust will come out this way, or whichever way I deem it necessary. And then the heat will just go up into the shed. And since heat rises, basically there's no internal, siding or anything in this. So we should be able to have the heat in the bottom, and it should be able to more or less freely rise into the top. And if I know anything about those diesel heaters, they're very, very potent. They throw out a lot of heat. And this one's an 8 kilowatt, which is more potent than the 5 kilowatt that I have down there in the shooting shack. So let me do the thing here, and then we'll show you what I end up with. And wish me luck, because this is permanent modifications to my 30-ish year old shed, and I'm a little nervous about it, but I think it's going to turn out just fine. So stand by, and the next thing you'll see is this thing installed. Okay, real quick, in about 5 seconds, I put the wheels on that thing. I did notice that it does have a carbon monoxide sensor, and they even give you some lengthened cabling. So if you're installing it in a kind of more suspect area, you could route that thing 8 or 10 or however long feet that is to where you think it's going to best detect carbon monoxide, which is pretty cool. And then also, especially like if it's a use case for you where you're using this for like your ice shanty for ice fishing, it does have the little carry handle, much like a airline luggage bag, which makes it easy to tote around. So now that it's assembled, I'm going to power it up, make sure that works, and then I'm going to start doing some permanent modifications to my shed to install this thing, and we'll show you the end results here. Well, that was kind of scary, and I can't believe I just did that. But that is the hole where the heat's going to come through. I just used a 3-inch hole saw. I'll leave links for whatever I use. And then also, this did not come with the VEVOR heater. I wanted to use this because it has that mesh in there. I just didn't want like critters and stuff going down the pipe. So I'm going to fit that up. And ideally what this should look like is just a vent coming through the floor like that. And I think that'll be enough to heat this whole thing. So stand by and I will finish the job. All right, boys, using the remote, I just kicked it on for its first time. Here's the setup. So basically I have it fully shielded. You can see the edge of the shed comes over it. I can still fill it with gas. I've got the heating tube going up into the shed. I just kicked it on. I can feel a little bit of exhaust coming out of there, but usually these things take a minute or two before they start kicking. And what I like about this is I can still see the gas gauge or the diesel gauge on the side there. This thing will take up to 1.3 gallons of diesel, and that'll keep it running all night long. And speaking of which, it just kicked on. You can hear the little glow plug kicking in there. Hopefully I'm close enough with my mic so that you can hear it. But let's go inside and I'll show you the setup. Now, don't mind the cord here. I will eventually drill another hole or something and get that to be a little less unsightly. But that's what it is for now. And if we come over here, it's barely just warming up, but I can feel the heat coming out of there already. And I think, I can hear it going a little faster RPM as it starts burning that diesel. And this is the initial run. So I'm going to let this run for a minute, and then I'll come back and give you my thoughts on how hot it's getting in here. All right, so that's my final setup there. Yeah, it looks a little janky, but what doesn't back here, so who cares? But it's been running at the hottest setting for, I don't know, probably 10 or 15 minutes. And I love the way I got it set up because I can still see the gas gauge. I can still fuel it up. And now we're going to go in there and see how warm it is. Don't mind my cable here. That is a temporary fix until I figure out something better. So let's open this up. Oh yeah, it is toasty in here. Nice. And that is just pumping out heat. It seems to be much more powerful than my other one, which is great. So hopefully it heats the top floor. You can see there's a lot of entryway there for air to go up. So anyway, that's what it is, and we'll close here with some final thoughts. Well guys, there you have it. That is the rolling version of the 8 kilowatt VEVOR diesel heater. It's definitely an impressive unit. It is pumping out a little bit more heat than my other one, and if it has the maintenance-free dependability where you just run it and keep running it like my other one has for 3 years, this is going to be an excellent update for the shed. And it has, since it has the wheels, it has a lot of use cases. So if you're doing like ice fishing, rolling it out to an ice shanty. One thing I didn't mention also is the other cable that it comes with. I thought initially that plugged into the power source and then into the unit. No, that's just a 12-volt cable. So you can plug that right into the unit and then onto a battery. So you don't even need 120-volt power for this thing. You can just run it off a 12-volt battery if you want to. So, you know, camping, putting it in a tent, cold weather camping, perfect. So I'm pretty impressed with it. Links for everything in the description and comments as always for you guys. Thanks for watching. And I'll stay toasty until I catch you on the next one. Peace.